Welcome, welcome, welcome back to episode 2 of Perspective, where we bring you motivation, inspiration with a conversation. And if you ever don't like what I said on this platform or whatever I brought on, please, I advise you, down in that comment box, please drop your perspective today. Now, before we get into our topic of the day is, it's necessary to dream. Let me first and foremost, before I even get into this thing, let me thank everybody that subscribed, everybody that watched, everybody that viewed, everybody that shared. I appreciate you guys. I love the response. I love some people that, even if you didn't comment on my last episode 1, it was a little more semi-introductory to Care the Truth or Kevin Walden. If you don't know, go back and watch that episode. If you haven't already, if it's your first time here, please like, subscribe, and follow this channel. Turn your post notifications so you don't miss no episodes moving forward. It's been a little while. I told you guys I'm gonna be back every 2 weeks and every Thursday. But just to give you guys a backdrop on what I've been doing for the little time that I've been off, I've ran in two 5Ks, the Miami Marathon, which is beginning of February, and just recently, the 305 half marathon, which is on Miami Beach. Man, it's been amazing. It's been exhilarating. It's been life-changing because I set out to do something that I knew for a fact I've never have done. I've never ran. I never thought about running. But I knew coming to 2025, I have to make sure that I challenge myself to do something different, something that's gonna make me stay responsible, something that's gonna hold me accountable, and something that's gonna make me become disciplined. The first time I ran, I was flat out injured. Straight up and down, I was injured, man. And I ran it in 39 minutes. The second one, I crushed it. I ran it in 34. I could have ran it faster, but since they had all the streets blocked off, I had to run 3-4 blocks just to get to the race. I know it may sound crazy, but yeah, I totally forgot that we're running on Miami Beach and I'm trying to park on Miami Beach. How smart of me that was. But before I get ahead of myself, let me pay some bills real quick. This episode is sponsored by Healthy Living Miami. As you can see the brand I got on, you can go follow them, like, subscribe. Anything they got to do with health, anything they got to do with food in general, go over to their Instagram and they'll be more informative. Another thing, since I'm a semi-runner now, not a full runner, but I did purchase these shades. Let me get them right quick. Those Reyes. If you're into running, if you like shades, my first time opening up these, but I think they're nice. They don't cost that much. If you're into running, if you're into sports, football, basketball, whatever you want to call it, get these shades. I will have down in the subscription my discount code. Use it. I think you get 10-20% off, but it will be down in the description. Los Reyes, they don't fog up. They don't break, quote unquote, that. But so far they ain't break on me. But that's what they say. But enough for talking about that. Last episode I was talking about, let me put this back. I was talking about me growing up without a father, relationship, love, and etc. and a third. But the reason why I'm talking about dreams of being necessary, because nobody can't tell me at some point in their life they didn't dream about something. I don't care if it was a shoe. And in a minute, we're going to get into my dream shoe when I was a kid. I actually ended up getting it, and it changed the trajectory. And it made me a real true believer, me growing up in the 90s. What I mean about I grew up in a negative environment, see, you may think I'm talking about a neighborhood, but your environment is what you're in close proximity of. What are you in daily? And my environment I grew up with, or the men I was around, they were negative all the time. And I'm not talking about my mom or anything of that nature. So mom, if you're watching this, I want to thank you from me, my brothers and sisters. Man, my mom raised 3 sets of twins, 1 single, man, with no fathers around, period, no fathers. So she did an amazing job. There's no handbook to raising kids, but the main thing she did, she raised us all. Nobody's on drugs, nobody's in jail, and everybody is alive. So you can clap that up for my mom doing an amazing job raising 7 kids in the projects. 5 boys that day. You know how difficult it is raising 5 boys? And again, nobody's dead in jail, strung out on drugs. She beyond exceeded what was the odds that were stacked against her. Again, she raising us without not one father in our life. The men that were around, as far as the environment I was in, as far as my household, they was never uplifting. And you know who you are. If you want to test that, man, you could come on this show and we can have a talk about it. But I'm almost positive if I was to call one of my sister brothers right now, they also would say the same thing right now in this moment. But it's not about to bash anybody. So that's what I mean about the environment I grew up in. It was, it was a negative environment. When I went outside in the neighborhood, man, I loved it. We was always creative because we didn't have much. So we would build tree houses. We would take bike parks and scrap bikes together. And man, it was always an amazing time when I went outside because we grew up actually in the era where we had to create fun. Unlike these kids, they don't really go outside anymore. But at that time, we were going outside when the PlayStation was coming out. We were going outside when we didn't know what Jordan I was dropping on a Friday or a Saturday. And man, we would just, it didn't matter at that time because all the Jordans was hot in the 90s. But the point was, we were still going outside. We were still having a great time. The environment I truly grew up in, well, my house was at, every time I stepped out the door, I was in the dope hole. No, the drug hole wasn't down the street. The drug hole wasn't like 3-4 blocks away. It was literally always outside my door. So me going back into the topic that I'm talking about today, being a dreamer, I knew I could dream inside my house to a certain extent, not run into those negative individuals. But I knew there was a reality when I stepped out that door. That like, it's cool to be a dreamer, but the reality is when you step out that door, you better tighten up. You better be on your P's and Q's, and you better be alert. So that was just the different dynamics of a necessity of dreaming. Now, while I've been on this break, man, I dreamed of running those in those 5Ks. Again, that's 3.1 miles. If you don't know, you know what a 5K is. I've learned a half marathon is anywhere from 10 to 13.3 miles, and a whole marathon is usually 26 to 26.6 miles. Hopefully one day I run a marathon, but that'll be a long way for now. But as far as getting back on top about being a dreamer, I knew the certain cutoff of being a dreamer, and I knew my purpose as far as when I stepped out that door, because I knew that the reality that I was going into, that you being off in La La Land, unfortunately will hurt you without being on point. So I knew that. But besides that, that's here nor there. I just remember growing up as a kid that I always dreamt of just being great, being, who I am today. And I'm challenging you, man, that's watching this video, that I know it's something deep down inside that you want to be, that you want to create, or that you want to become. And you're sitting up there wondering about your peers, or you wondering about your spouse, or you wondering about what your family gonna say. But if you got young adults or young kids, once you have kids, it is on you to change their narrative because you have a blank canvas. So you can't be worrying about, what my wife or my partner, whatever you want to call it, going to say what my mama gonna say, what my daddy gonna say, what my friends that I grew up with, what they gonna say. Because at the end of the day, the most people that's dependent on you is your kids, the ones that you're raising, even if you adopted them. However, you have kids in your life. And if you don't have kids in your life, man, you deserve to achieve that one thing. Don't think, when I'm saying dreaming or dreamer, don't think that it's got to be a big landscape. Just what is your reality? What you want for your life? That's what I'm trying to get you to see. I remember growing up as a kid, I wanted one of these Jordans, my first pair of Jordans, man. Um, I dreamed about those shoes when they came out. They the 10s, they the North Carolina, they the black and sky blue on the bottom. But it's crazy how I got them. When I was young, I saw one of my friends in the neighborhood. He goes by the name, well, nickname called him Pee Wee. And he walked by and I saw him the Jordans on. And I'm like, where you got them shoes from? And he said, he got them from Justice Feet. If you from Miami, if you from the crib, if you know, you know. And my mom was the type, because she had a lot of kids, like you had to pretty much bring her the right information. And I wanted those Jordans so bad, so bad. And he told me it was $40. Nah, $40, that's a long time ago. I was wearing a size 4 shoe at that time, but still $40. That's all I wanted. I wanted those shoes. And I dreamed about it, I thought about it, and I was trying to figure out what way could I convince my mom to get me these shoes. And finally she agreed to it. And she said, them shoes better cost $40, Calvin, because you don't call me Kev the Truth or Kevin. They better cost $40 or you're not getting them. So he had told me, like, when you first walk in the store, we'll be on that first pile. Mind you, I got my mom driving me out here to how I live, where the police can pull you over at any moment. And man, I'm praying that the shoe is still there, because a little time that went by. Granted, now I'm talking about Jordans being on sale now. That's not happening in this time frame, 2025. But I'm just giving you a little enlightenment or reenactment of what was going on back then. And so I'm praying that I'm going, but I'm dreaming like, boy, I can't wait till I get these shoes. And we drove there, hopped out, walking in the store fast. And I walked to the spot he told me to go to, and lo and behold, the shoe was there. So excited, Mom came in. I'm like, yo, they right here, Mom. Told you they had it. And they still was for $40. I was so happy. She bought those shoes for me, man. And the way I felt when she bought me those shoes, and man, I felt like I won a championship, man. I already had thought about what I'm gonna wear, how I'm gonna wear it. And man, I was at that time, I think so in size 4, I probably like 4th grade, 5th grade. That was just like the biggest dream that I had then, to get a pair of Jordans. Because if you had some Jordans when you were young, you know, you consider the cool kid on the block, or consider the kid to have money. And I wore them shoes till I couldn't wear them shoes no more. I liked those shoes so much that even when I became an adult, man, because it was just a childhood memory, it was my first Jordan, I had no choice to even now, hold on, that I had to get them again. I mean, I've been at it for a while, but this shoe right here meant a lot to me. This shoe taught me that if I thought about something, if I put my mind to it, if I came up with a plan, that anything was possible. Knowing that my mom was doing the best she could, raising 7 kids on her own. And I just put my mind that I was gonna get these shoes right here. And for me, these shoes mean a lot. I know, certain things may mean sentimental things, but this shoe means a lot to me because it was actually the first Jordan that I got that I can remember. Now, my twin brother probably could bring it up a little bit more, something a little deeper, but I remember this shoe specifically because I personally came up with a plan to get this shoe, and it meant so much to me when I got it. I can't remember what I wore with it, but I do remember what it took for me to get this shoe. I'm just using this shoe as a narration of that anything is possible. Today, I went to an event, shout out to Aspire, and just in that event, they just telling me, man, yo, stop being lazy. It's nothing wrong with believing. There's nothing wrong with being different. I'm about to be 40 years old, so I can care less and put these down, put these away. Yeah, I'm a shoe person anyway. But there's nothing wrong with, dreaming of being different or just setting out the goals to do things that are different, man. I'm almost 40 years old. I'm not worried about what nobody thinking anymore. I got one daughter that's grown, got another son that's about to graduate. And my main thing is about being who I was truly put on earth to be. And my purpose to be on earth is to inspire you guys to be the best version of yourself, man. And a lot of times, growing up in those negative environments, or you have this thing called doubt that's stopping you from crossing over to that next level. And the only thing stopping you is you. Because anytime you make your mind up to do anything, I don't know what time you ain't get it from a burger. Man, maybe not a girl, maybe not the first girl, but the second, third girl, you might have got her. I don't know what that might have been. You know, and anytime you set out to really play a sport, if you commit and you put the work in, you've always achieved the goal. I think sometimes, even with me, myself, sometimes we just don't want to do the work. Just don't want to do the work. We want the end reward, but we don't want to do the work. And at the end of the day, that's not going to give you what you want. We live in a place called America that anything is possible. I've traveled to many different countries, and it don't matter how early these people get up, no matter how hard they work, they're never going to have a possibility to live the way we live. The reason why I'm so confident in doing what I'm doing, because financially, I make good money. So when I do this, I'm just coming from my heart. I'm not doing this for no money. I'm not doing this for to get no attention. I'm literally doing this from my heart to show you guys that anything is possible. And if you put your mind, you're willing to do the work, you can have it. I truly believe that this will be one of the biggest YouTube channels within the next 5 years. Just doing the things that I'm doing, talking about the things that I'm talking about, and giving you guys a real insight of who I am. Am I perfect? No, but I know where I came from, my humble beginnings, the odds that were stacked against me, and growing up without a father figure, somebody guiding me down the right path. I think I did pretty good to be to this point, but I'm not done yet. I'm just getting started. So before I let you guys go, before I let you guys get up out of here, stop procrastinating, man. Time is the most valuable thing that we have. Just back in December, I lost a friend that passed away in her sleep. I'm almost positive the day before, when she went to sleep, when she woke up the day before, she didn't know she was going to pass away the next day. There's another friend that I know that's probably fighting for her life, but she would never think she was going to be in that position. So ask yourself, if you're watching this video, if you only had one day to live, you only had one moment to, still be on this earth, what would you do with yourself? Would you really commit to that thing? And it doesn't mean, it don't have to be something tangible. It could be something simple as just committing to your wife or your partner, spending more time with your kids. I don't know what it may be, but I don't care how tough you is. I don't care how sassy you is. I don't care how much it is about you. There's something deep down inside of you that you want that's bigger than what people think that you want. And if you're content with your life, then man, God bless, because that's the point where I ever want to be at. Right now, I'm not content. I know there's more to life. I know there's more to this earth, and I know there's more to me to share y'all in this world. So if you're watching this, man, just know you have the opportunity, man, to change any and everything, man. Before I go, I'll leave y'all with this, like I always leave y'all with a quote. Remember, man, that we only here for a short time, not a long time. I want you to really think about that. If you equate your life to hours, when you look at it, it's not that many hours. We're only here for a short time, not a long time. So all I ask you, from me to you, care the truth, man, make it count. Make it count, man. I'm gone. I'll be easy.